7 o'clock, I'd like to call this Board of Supervisors meeting, May 16th, to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As Gene was just saying, John Stahl, our third supervisor, is not able to join us this evening. So John typically leads us in a moment of silence, so I'll start off with asking you to keep John and Wanda in your prayers if you would. John wishes he could be here, and Wanda too. So if you would please keep them in your prayers, and then let's join together for a moment of silence. Citizen participation, this would be for items on the agenda. Do we have any at this time? Okay, hearing none. Move on to approval of the minutes. These are the minutes from the April 25th meeting. I'll make a motion to, we had some slight revisions. Make a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Aye, second.
Brad seconds. All in favor? Aye. Persons to be heard, Lieutenant Kenneth Tallman?
Yes, sir.
Yes, would you please? Yeah. Okay, thank you for coming.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. It's a pleasure to be here and get to meet everybody. Just get this corner real quick. I don't have a lot. I was going to share some stats regarding the calls of service here at PSP. But first, I wanted to introduce myself. My name's Ken. I'm a lieutenant with the Pennsylvania State Police. I just got assigned as station commander at the Newport station about just over 2 weeks ago. Prior to that, I was serving at our Intel Center. State Police has an Intel Center. I was the director of that center. I have about 20 years of service with the State Police. I served up here in Newport from 2012 to 2017 as a crime unit supervisor. So I'm delighted and very honored to come back to Perry County. I always thought this was always one of my favorite stations and one of my favorite areas to be part of the State Police. It's a very close-knit community, a lot of great people up here. They always describe it as like the 1980s, like that. It's a neat area. It's a great place to be and work, so thank you for having me. So I ran stats from October of 2021 through the end of March 31st of 2022, and during that time, the State Police responded to 89 calls of service. There was a total of about 19 crashes, and I would say at least 15 of the motor vehicle crashes were up on Valley Road. Between Richmond Drive and Idle Road, that stretch, it seems like there's a cluster of crashes in that area, and they're all speed related or DUI related. I took note when I was coming down here this evening that it looks like it's a 45 mile per hour zone. So I ran those numbers just prior to coming here, so it definitely piqued my interest. So I will see about getting more patrol members to come out here and patrol that stretch of the highway, just to try to, if anything, to slow people down through education or through enforcement. Criminal offenses, we had about 35 crimes that were reported during that time span, and about 5 of them were theft related, and then I think some were welfare or fraud cases. So, and then there was a total of 12 property crimes. Back to the crashes. It's been since November 8th of 2019 that we've had a fatal crash here in Rye Township. So we're going on 2.5 years since there's been a fatal crash, which is a good thing. Troopers have issued 26 traffic citations during that 6 months. Some of the things on our radar, tomorrow we have the primary election. The troopers are going to be patrolling around all the various polling sites across the county. I saw the political signs out here, so I'm assuming this is a polling place as well. And then the last thing I'd like to mention is that we did I don't know, are you high school?
Yeah.
So we're doing last year they did a Citizens Police Academy for high school students. It was run up at Newport High School, but it included all 4 school districts within Perry County. And it's for high school students that are aspiring or have an interest in law enforcement. That program runs March to April. It's 2 hours a week, and it runs for so many weeks. And my intentions are to run that program again next year. So if you would have an interest in law enforcement, talk with your school counselor, or there'll be flyers posted around probably next winter, January, February timeframe. So they did it last year, and we had a total of 7 students that participated, and 7 of them graduated from the school. So that included West Perry, Susquehanna, Newport, and Greenwood, and what's the other one? I think I got them. And then I know Rye Township has like 3 students that are from Perry County that go to that school out there. But it's the 4 main schools here in Perry County. So it was an issue that Daisy had brought to my attention last week regarding a tow company here in Rye Township that was blocking a road up on Flowers Drive. It was Flowers Drive. So that was handled appropriately. I had the vehicle fraud investigator make contact with the owner of that business to address the issues with blocking the road. That shouldn't be a problem anymore. They seem to be. They seem like they were going to be compliant. They were going to respect the trooper having a phone call with them and trying to avoid any future enforcement activity. So if there's any more problems with that, please make me aware. And then the last thing I would say is if there's issues within the township, you have my email address with phone number to the barracks. Call me or email me anytime, and I'll get back to you on any issue. My goal is to attend. I go to every township across the county. But my goal is, barring any incidents or any issues, I'd like to get back here maybe in the fall and try to get to each township meeting in the county at least 2 times a year. So I don't know when the last time we had a trooper here, but I want to be a regular face. I want to be out, engage with the community, and by all means, if I'm not here and if there's an issue that arises, you want me to come in for the meeting, I'd be more than happy to attend the meeting. So that's all I have. Any questions?
Yes.
You do.
I know in the old days, took a car to get inspected. If the muffler was too loud, they failed it. Has that changed? Because every day, we live along 850.
Okay.
6 o'clock in the morning it starts. I can hear them inside the house, so all the doors and windows shut.
Is that those little rice burners? Or I was called weed whackers. They sound like those little Hondas that. There is something.
But
I think
I
it
know
has to
you
do with
guys can't
decibel
sit here
level.
all day and wait for some guy going to work and then he's going all day, but it's just getting annoying as heck.
I know there's something. I know like motorcycles are. There's things with motorcycles. They like to modify the exhaust to make the loud noise. I know that it has to do with the decibel level, and I don't know how you. Unless it's extremely loud, unless you have a decibel reader. Like I know it's hard to enforce. I know it's annoying.
I do a lot of digital every now and then. I mean, it's loud
Okay.
coming out this road.
Unfortunately, I don't know if we can really enforce that. Other than if we're visible out here along the highway, then
Yeah, I know. I mean, like I said, it's kind of impossible to sit there and wait all day for some nutcase to go flying by. And,
right. But it draws attention to themselves. So
yeah,
next thing you know, I'm looking for an inspection sticker, or a lot of times they like to have the decals across the top of the window. If it comes below the AS1 line, that's a violation. So that's a reason to stop them. So
Might want to check the window tint too.
window tint's an issue. So that's always that's usually
There's a lot of things they don't check anymore.
but a loud car would definitely draw attention to themselves. So
yeah. Well,
and if the
we
troopers are out
have
here
them
patrolling
leaving.
them.
Next door neighbor, I can call him to leave and heard him this morning, 4:30.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one for you. Out my way, out the 3300 block. It seems like on the Sundays, the motorcycles, they're terrible out there. I mean, as far as the cross rockets,
Okay.
I mean, they go past my place, all it is a blur. I mean,
Or a day a week that's, or is it
it's
just
usually
every day?
on Sunday, Saturday or Sunday when they do it. There are usually 2 of them, okay, doing it. But there's no way you could ever get out your driveway.
So the 3300 block
Yeah.
of Valley Road? Okay.
Oh, believe me, it's the same way in the 29.
Yeah.
It's the same way in the 2900
Because
block.
I hear them coming down past your
Oh,
place.
yeah, oh, yeah.
They hit that straight.
Oh, you hear, oh, it's like, yeah, that's the speedway there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit, and then the traffic itself out there, they don't go to speed limit, everybody.
Oh, and then there's that, and then it's 45 and it's all winding roads and hills, grades, like it's.
Well, it's that way, if you got so many blind driveways, 55 mile an hour, and the people that live out there are old, they can't hear, and it's a shame, I mean, there's gonna be a bad wreck someday, but people don't respect the speed limit at all. I call up there and voice I get an officer who comes down and sits in my driveway for maybe 5 minutes, and I don't see him ever again. I never see him again. I don't like to complain, but it is a little ridiculous. I mean,
No, I don't think
if
so.
they come out once in a while, at least it would make an impression, you know, to say that, hey,
Might
or
be.
what's a cop might be out there, you know,
Right.
maybe,
Right.
instead of not being there at
Yeah,
all.
because one of these days, one of the motorcycle riders is gonna pay the
Yeah,
price.
and then unfortunately, the person that pulls out in front of them is gonna be in trouble, you know, and it's not their fault because they're doing 140 mile an hour, you know?
Right. No, I get it. It's unfortunate it's like that in a lot of areas.
Right,
It's
I
kind of-
understand that, I understand that. Yep, and there's only so much you guys can do, but if you could just come once in a while and make it
Right.
visible, maybe they can deter them a little bit.
Sure, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Any
Yeah.
chance, I know that you wrote your notes on that, I was gonna ask if you could leave the stats, or can you email them to us better?
I can email.
Yeah,
I'll email
please.
it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Was that 89 calls in 6 months? Is that what you
Yes,
said?
that was from October to March. That was
Okay.
89 calls for service.
So that's like 15.
About, yeah. And a lot of them, so about almost, I'd say about 40% of them were criminal related. The other ones could be miscellaneous calls or 911 hangups or
Wow. So that counts everything.
domestic disputes that doesn't really rise to a level or to an arrest. It could just be two significant others or two couples arguing and it materializes into like physical abuse or anything like that. So it could be, we call it under domestic. There was a total of 19 arrests in that 6 months. And I know I saw drugs on here. I think we had 1 or 2 drug offenses and 4 DUI crashes out of the 19 crashes total. But like I said earlier, like 15 of them are all in that stretch of that
The
Richwind
one
Road.
he's talking about.
Between Richwind and then Idle Road.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, well, thanks a lot.
Care of the,
Appreciate it.
the tow truck issue.
Oh,
yeah,
certainly.
That,
Yeah, let me know if
that went on.
there's any more issues. I drove by there and I noticed, I saw them out there working on a vehicle, but I didn't see anyone blocking the road.
Right.
And I don't know how often that
Maybe
happens.
that'll help, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's when they're bringing you in from an accident, bringing in a vehicle or a breakdown.
Right.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it.
Take care. Be safe.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to, monthly report, zoning code enforcement. We've got a new format here from
Yeah.
Solenco, so that's where Ryan is now working. Before you go.
Mhm.
Solenco, engineering associates. Uh, 26 Styles Drive, certificate of use, C5, sign permit. On Willow Street for zoning and demo permits, freely drive alcohol within vodka, propane tank. Idle Road, garage or use and sign permit, partial travel, partial travel.
Mileage, he
Oh,
charges mileage. He divides it, like, say if he goes to someplace in Leeward and then
Oh,
goes to
okay.
Bellevue,
Oh,
so
okay.
he'll divide, he won't
Okay.
charge twice
I
for
don't
the
recall
same.
seeing that until then.
No, yeah, he did that before.
Okay. 155 Ramsgap. Under Graveling Rock Road, 2075 Valley Road. 2105 Site Circle Jump Violation. 45 Cove Hill Road, discuss status of violation. Rye Township Max, 30 acres, 30 hours. Okay, he's got it in the hours column, that's 30 miles. 58.5 cents, 17.55. Total of $554.07.
And that's from the previous, if that's how it's going to
So
be.
that's, okay. Billing period from March 28th. Sewage enforcement report, did we
I
have?
don't have one, I think it's
Okay.
because we're early with our meeting.
Okay. Road report, Brad.
Did the spring bowl cleanup, metal and trim here at the building, of course, and marked our road for piping, new pipes. Clean ditches on Millers and Idle, take number one dump truck for inspection, clean up down trees on Idle Road, and assist with the mobile carts for the trash. Me and John did a lot of that, trying to help them out.
Thanks for getting that.
Yeah.
I think that was the busiest day I've ever had here. as far as
People calling?
Phone calls, yes.
I think we got it pretty much ironed out.
I think so.
For the
We
most
just
part.
had a couple calls last week.
Right, wasn't too bad.
It wasn't bad. They felt it went well.
Yeah, and I talked to Rob on the truck, and he said that he's done places for years, and he said this is actually working out better than those places. So that tells you a little something. I mean, people are.
Did he indicate people putting them where they need to put them?
Yeah,
Is that what
yeah.
that-
Well, we had a couple that did it right,
Yeah.
and we put stickers on them, so.
Oh.
Yeah, so the most part, I think they're going pretty good.
Good deal. Is that it, Brad?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Bob, you have a report?
Well, I do, it's gonna be abbreviated because I wasn't expecting to do this, but this Saturday, from 9 to 10:30, we have a fishing derby at the Sportsman's Club. And, I would advise the kids to get there a little bit early, get registered. In case it's raining, we do have a rain date for Sunday. I think it starts at noon,
1 o'clock.
or 1 o'clock, I'm sorry.
1 o'clock to 2:30. They wait till after 1.
And then, we have our Strawberries in the Park, June the 12th, from 6 to 7. We're at Community Building. That's usually a good time, strawberries and ice cream and all the goodies. So if you want that. That's about it.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Yep.
Emergency management report, I don't see Jim, I don't see Mike here, so we don't have one.
They did, Mike did send me an email updating the officers from Marysville. So we're working at updating the emergency operations contact list. I had Nancy working on that last week, and so we changed, because the officers have changed in Marysville. So we'll finish updating that, and then we'll get copies of it to everyone.
Thanks for that.
Mhm.
Okay, financial statement.
The general checking account began with a balance April 1st of $137,512.70, had receipts of $174,257.22, expenditures of $45,619.09, interest of $17.82, leaving us a balance May 1st in the general checking account of $266,168.65. And the main deposit was all of the real estate taxes and per capita taxes that came in before the 2% discount went out. The general checking account at Pennian Bank had only interest activity and had a balance May 1st of $561,826.12. The American Rescue Plan funds monies had no expenditures and had only interest activity of $19.83, leaving a balance May 1st of $124,817.09. Liquid Fuels checking account had interest activity of 1 cent and had a balance May 1st of $540.62. Liquid Fuels saving had only interest activity of 22 cents and had a balance May 1st of $2,663.28. And that's about all I have.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Thank you. We talked about money to the fire companies. What is that?
That could be, that is in our budget, so if you want to do, I was wondering, in fact, I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot to mention it today when I talked to you that they are having a banquet this Saturday, I believe that's this Saturday. If you would want me to do a check and we could present it then, and then maybe next month do Sherman's Day. Because we have budgeted 10,000 for that, but we're still thinking we're going to.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
That's above what we already give, that's just an addition.
Okay, yeah.
When you get that ready, okay, I will do that. Yes, I'm finished.
Moving on to resolutions, resolution 2115, insured CD at Mid-Penn
Let's
Bank.
say 21, it should be 22.
Oh,
I'm sorry. It's 2215, and it's just taking a general savings CD account. It was a 5-year CD at 1.98%, and I was going to move it to Pennian in the easy access, but what I'm proposing now is the rates have gone up. I'm sure it'll go up slightly again if the feds continue to put their prime rate up. But right now I can get a 5-year CD at Pennian Bank for 1.29%, which is a lot better than 0.35%. So it's up to you if that's what you want to do, lock in for 5 years. It is really just an investment CD. It's general monies. It's not the only one that we have, but it's the only one coming due this year. The general, the larger general investment CDs that we have. It's approximately 124,104 plus whatever interim interest. It doesn't mature till the end of the month, but I wanted to cover the authorization to do so.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2215. Second.
So you think we should go with 5%?
Yeah.
That's better, that's a better interest rate than what I've seen for, what's I've done. In fact, I was rather surprised that she gave me that. They must have just put them up. And if it happens to go up between now and then, that would be great too.
Yep.
I kind of doubt it, but that's a pretty good increase.
Okay, did you have the printout spreadsheet?
This one?
Yeah, did you have a copy?
I have 2 copies.
Okay, you have a copy.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, so this is new business awarding of the 2022 road project bids. We received 5 bids. Glenn Hallbaker, Fenton Supply, New Enterprise, Stone and Line, J. Folk Road and Sons, and EK Services. So this, Brad, the areas that we're paving,
Tower Road is gonna be the whole road.
and that's the top priority.
That's the top priority, and then we're gonna do the land gas, we're gonna do a portion of the top. And then we're going to move to New Valley Road, and then whatever we can pave there at New Valley Road, pave until
Okay.
Yep. And this was probably the one we
Yeah,
Yeah,
New
that's good.
Enterprise,
choose.
yeah.
Enterprise. Yep.
New Enterprise had a bid of $746,555.00, and that's based on PennDOT's Rick Levan coming out, viewing the projects, giving an estimate of
His estimate.
what would be involved in base repair and materials.
Correct.
And then, so the plan is to, starting with Tower Road,
Tower Road.
and moving to Lambscott, until we hit the 350,000
Right. Right. And then we're-
mark.
and then we'll-
How far you can go.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, we'll just have to stress to the road
Right.
foreman or project manager.
Right. That's-
And I'm sure they could give us tickets, the road
Right.
tickets as they go,
Exactly.
so they'll know where they are.
So I'll make a motion to accept New Enterprise Stone and Line Company's bid of $746,555, as that is, it is the lowest.
Right.
And, second.
All right, second.
Jim, I have a question. When you said the 300 and some $1,000, was that you were going to pay up to that amount, and that's where you cut it off, or, sorry?
350,000.
Okay, so you're accepting their bid of 700 some thousand, but you're only going to go up to the 300? Just,
That's the plan at this point, and the stipulation, there was a stipulation in the contract, and all the folks bid to it, that the township can pull back on, we're asking them to give us a bid on that full amount,
Mhm.
based on Rick Levan's numbers.
right.
Well, with the understanding that, hey,
The limit.
we can limit it at 350,000 and then revisit it at that point, see.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And part of it is too because the way that they bid it, there's an overall cost for New Valley, but actually New Valley on all of those were bid twice. They bid the total amount, just say the total amount was 100,000, and then divided in two is 50 and 50. Well, in that total is the two parts plus the overall. Instead of giving me two separate, they put them all together. So there's no way it's going to be $750,000. So if you separate one and the other out, you'll see approximately what is going to fall, and it's between $350,000 and $400,000. So we'll just have to limit it to what we can afford at this time. And that's on, it's in the contract. It'll be in the contract. So don't let me forget to get you guys to sign this contract. I always forget that. Then I have to call you back, so let me sign it.
Now, is that a locked-in price for asphalt per ton?
Yep, there's no escalator clause.
Really?
No, that's why I said,
Wow.
we really need to try to get done what we can. I have no idea
They're
where
sticking
it's
their necks
gonna
out.
go.
Next year might be.
It's gonna be probably even worse, I'm
Is-
sure.
Can I take a look at their bid then at the end of the meeting?
Pardon?
Can I take a look at their bid then at the end of the meeting? The forms they filled out?
The new
Their-
advertise?
Yeah, New Enterprises
Oh,
bid.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, I guess that's okay.
I'll
I mean, what about,
Yeah.
I don't know about until it's
tell you what, yeah.
Well, it's open, so it's not like it's a competitive thing,
I'll tell
so.
you what, we'll, just to make sure that we don't send something out that isn't supposed to, check with our solicitor. He's like, it'll be okay, and that was good to go. In case it becomes a question from somebody else.
well, until they sign, then, they have to
Yeah,
sign
when they
it
sign.
too. When they sign, then it's completely
Right,
yeah,
public. I know that for sure, but I'm not sure. Once they accept. I don't know, the price
Oh,
of
this is
diesel.
just one, this is just one. I would say.
Oh, no, I won't be able to sign here, so I'm not the voice here.
Yeah, you have to sign this with the last week.
Is there a fuel surcharge? Is there a fuel surcharge line?
That's the main part of the contract. I think there's only one signature in the signature page here.
That's all right.
know what they did, they should have signed today, so I'll just put the date on here, it should be fine, I'll just attest.
Okay, and as part of following up on that, you made a note to contact the police to make sure we're good. Okay.
And your bond is in place, and I will check on that, so. We're good on that,
Thanks.
we just need to follow up with the rest of the paperwork.
Okay. Ready to move on?
Yeah,
Okay. Item B, hiring part-time summer help for park. $8 an hour for Luke Fisher.
and Luke is
Is that that young
here.
man there? Hey, Luke. Yeah. Thanks for coming in.
He is anxious to get started.
Yeah.
He just lives right up the road.
Yeah.
He can ride his bike down.
Yeah, hey, thanks for, volunteering, I mean, doing it, so, yeah, so make a motion to, hire Luke, for the part-time summer help.
The only condition would be that we need the work papers, if that's okay, because he's not going to be starting before June, so. You're in the process of getting those.
Tomorrow.
Okay, that'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll make the motion, Brad, do you second?
Second.
Thanks again, Luke.
Yeah, thanks, Lee.
Okay, announcements. May 17th, tomorrow, yeah, election day, from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. Support the Marysville Rye Library with soup and sandwiches and baked goods table.
She said they're making, when she called me, that they're making more this time. 'cause
Oh,
they sold out.
okay. Yeah, they just go out, right?
Okay. May 30th, the office will be closed for Memorial Day. Trash will be collected on Wednesday, June 1st. June 12th, strawberries in the park, 6 to 7 p.m. with rain or shine. That was a good turnout last year, right?
Yes,
As I
it was.
recall.
Mhm. People seem ready to want to get out.
Approval and payment of the bills, David.
General fund checks 17329 to 17343 in the amount of $10,675.51. There were no checks voided. Payroll checks 8052 to 8057 in the amount of $4,221.41. Payroll checks 8058 to 8065 in the amount of $4,720, and there were no payroll checks voided either.
Make a motion to approve payment of bills.
I second.
Thank you, Daisy.
Mhm.
Okay, for this is participation, do I need to sign this?
No, let's just, I'll keep that on file.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if they're passing.
No, I just wanted you to see, you know, it
Yeah, I
has
see.
some, it has some confidential information, so.
Okay. All right, moving on to citizen participation. John, I think you're.
Yeah. Yeah, the only question I had was this meeting advertised today in the paper or no?
Yes, it was in the paper.
Which paper?
Way back when I advertised back in.
The January one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Mhm. You want to advertise for the whole year, all the meetings.
Okay, any other citizen participation? Robert?
Just something to keep in mind. At budget time, you may want to think about this $8 an hour for the part-time help. I think that should go up a little bit, so you may want to think about that.
In writing.
Luke said he'll take it from Linda when we give it to him.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see that, yeah.
Because of, you know, look at the getting it done. It's definitely needs to go up.
All right.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, any other citizen participation? Hearing none, meeting is adjourned. Thanks everyone for coming in.